With a sip of tea, Pope Francis kicked off a busy schedule during his apostolic trip to Calabria in southern Italy. His day began at the Castro Villari jail, where he greeted each of the prisoners, men and women, individually. The Pope's visit stirred lots of emotions among the prisoners. After he finished his individual greetings, the Pope heard the testimony of one of the convicts before addressing the large crowd.
Per noi si avverano le parole di Gesù. Andrò in cerca della pecora perduta e la ricondurrò all'ovile. La vostra presenza ci rende capaci di sentire il pastore che si prende cura di noi.
In his remarks, Pope Francis spoke about forgiveness. He said that when prison sentences are handed out without effective reintegration into society, they become a form of punishment and retaliation that affects the person and society.
Quando noi andiamo a confessarci, il Signore ci dice: ma io te perdono, ma adesso vieni con me, e Lui ci aiuta a riprendere la strada. Mai condanna, mai perdona soltanto, ma perdona e accompagna.
After leaving the prison, the Pope took a ride on his Popemobile through the small town as dozens of people lined the streets screaming his name. Next up, he visited a seminary to have lunch with the poor in the region. He greeted large groups of people gathered outside. Once he stepped in, he led a prayer before the meal. Following lunch, he was greeted with even more people who called him by name, asking for a handshake or a blessing. His last event before a large mass was a visit to a hospice for the elderly and the terminally ill. Once again, emotions came out as old and young alike shook his hand. Pope Francis made his way around the room, greeting everyone and going to those who couldn't move. His smiles and laughter alternated with the cries of joy and the voices of people beckoning the Pope. Before the start of the Mass, Pope Francis prayed for several minutes before a memorial to Father Lazzaro Longobardi. The beloved parish priest was killed nearly 4 months ago. The Pope went on to greet the city's police force before heading out to the open field, where he celebrated Mass before nearly 200,000 people.